Hey guys, it's Will. In this video, we're going to be going over BigBear.AI, and you might see the background. Things are starting to look better. The kitchen's starting to get done as we finish up this apartment that we're going to be renting out. But hey, I know that hasn't moved since yesterday. It's because the place that does the counters is closed on Thursdays and Fridays, and I'm waiting for a sale actually for July 4th. There's supposed to be big sales on the appliances, so that should go in there pretty soon. Anyway, Big Bear AI, we saw it peak out this morning, or maybe it was yesterday after hours, actually, before today. Just after hours, kind of late in the evening, it shot up to $6.20 before pulling back. Now, when we look at the level it's at right now, we kind of talked about how it was approaching this resistance at about 630, right around here, and that it could potentially see some corrections. It corrected as low as what seems to be about $5.55 today before pushing up a little bit and holding even for the day. And when we see this level get reached, there is a few things to note. It's possible that we get this hyper bull trend with Big Bear continuing. And what would that look like? Well, in a hyper bull trend, usually previous resistance acts as a support. So basically, this level right here, this resistance, give or take, in this zone right here, would kind of act as a support here. And we do kind of see that today where it sold down, it bounced a little bit at that $5.63. And so we'd be looking for potential swing here up into these levels. Now, yesterday we traded Big Bear AI and we bought here, we sold somewhere up here, and it hit our take profit area. But now that it's in that zone and we're seeing it get back down into this $5 range, $5.60 range to $5.80 range, we're now starting to see some key levels be touched. So again, previous resistance at 560 is what we want to watch on the near term. And also, if it's not able to hold that level, then there's the rising resistance that could act as a support around $5.30. So that's kind of the more bearish outlook for the day. The more bullish outlook would be getting back into these previous levels. Looks like we had a previous support level and a resistance that we saw get hit back here in February and then end of February. And that was kind of potentially our next target level for Big Bear. So the next target level there would be about $6.40. So from current prices, we'd be looking at a margin of profit of about 9%. So the defense market is growing. There's more financials that start to look favorable. The thing that has really stood as something that they need to improve is the financials, though. We know that with their new CEO, Kevin McAleenan, previously the acting secretary of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and also was the commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, has most likely facilitated some of these new contracts that we see from them, and there's not these announced dollar values. What we know is, like, for example, when they came out with the articles, it was a couple months ago, or it might have been even 2024. Not sure there. I don't see it. There's supposed to be a contract somewhere here that's, oh, there it is. Denver International Airport. Now, when they had this contract come out, I applaud Denver for their dedication to focus on security protocols using innovative technologies across 13 airlines. The only issue with this article, like, it's a great article, it's good. They're starting to see their VeriScan be implemented at the airports. You can see 14 international airports and that, or 14 international departure gates at Denver, but most likely they've seen more than 14 airports in total that they're working with as we see them grow, and we'll take a look at that. But there wasn't, the problem was, is there wasn't a dollar value. I don't know if they maybe released those informations in their reporting. So that would be a good thing to kind of look at in the company info and what they shared maybe in their financials, or I don't know if that was ever released on the contract value of these of the travel and trade. It didn't seem like they applied a contract value or amount of money that they were getting when they secure these deals. But that's something we're going to want to know, because essentially that would be a really good question to ask in the upcoming earnings. The earnings here for BigBear.AI indicated that they were saying we're expecting more revenues because we didn't have some of them hit our bank account, basically, is what they said. And then they came out with this article just a few days ago, or about a week ago, with all of the airports that they are in. So imagine not just the airport, one security, like there was, what was it, 16 different gates that they were at just at Denver. Imagine all the gates inside of these airports. These could be potentially really big contracts. And so we don't know the contract value, but that's something we're going to want to know. So that's kind of the next action item that I would say as far as research in Big Bear that we're going to be jumping into more. Because if we know the contract values here, that could be a good indication for future growth, and being able to see when they come out with these articles, not just kind of saying, oh, they got this article, this, but really assign a value to it. Because the very scan that they have released here, I personally have seen it in the airports. I know they're expanding fast, and it's one of the main ways that they're most likely bringing in revenue. And now, aside from some of the contracts that they have, but what is the next step? Well, that is, how much are those values worth, and can we make it happen to know exactly how much money that's cumulatively working towards. I'm excited to see some of the new filings too. You got SEC filings here, Big Bear. It's been a little while since we've seen any filings published, since basically 9 of June. But also the institutional holdings is something we'll be watching too, because the BlackRock positions, big increases on positions compared to those that were decreased, like 177 new institutions versus 49 decreased. So a lot of bullishness around that. And so we'll continue to watch. The levels we'll be watching here again. If it's hyper bullish, this $5.60 range could hold, and we see it push up there about 10% into that level. Be about a 10% swing back up there. Otherwise, we got to see this level here, this $5.20 level of previous resistance, which is okay. Conservatively, I do imagine we'll see some pullbacks with this big recent surge. And that's where opportunities present themselves. So that's where we're going to be following closely, holding on to our long-term positions. We hold long-term in Big Bear, and we have since $2.80 that we purchased back here when we started covering the stock in October, and we purchased it in November or December, actually. And so we saw highs of $10.50. I think we're getting ready to make it back to those levels. We just have to have some more integrity and congruence around the reason why. Last time we hit those levels, the financials were okay. They still had negative net income. This time, as we start to approach the next earnings and potentially seeing this move happen, we have more focus on the financials, which we could see be very favorable. And so if we get favorable financials and this headwind that we're breaking through here, and then we're starting to continue to push up into these levels, that momentum continues, then it could be a really great time for Big Bear to grow. So we'll be watching it closely, definitely next week. We just wrapped up our live session this morning. We sold AMDL this morning for a profit. We could take a look at it. It was about a $400 profit. And we sold at what was almost the perfect time this morning. We had bought down here, so you could see the entry. We bought down here, and that's exactly where it's back to. And we rode this trade exactly about 6.9%. We sold it this morning at market open right here for $9. Let me see how much we sold it. Our AMDL entry was $8.66. So we bought right here, which is what it's at right now. And then we sold it this morning at $9.20 right here at the peak this morning in our take profit. So it was a perfect trade. Made about $400 something profit So it's good. And then just after that, in our live session this morning in StockMate, we ended up buying TSLL. So TSLL was the buy. I think we have this order still open. Looks like it's down just about 62 bucks. We're looking for this swing up into this $13.50 range. We'll be watching it closely. That trade would be about 11%, and I believe we have about a $5,000 position there. So should be, if we see that 11% range, potentially about a $500 to $700 trade if this goes according to plan. And overall direction, though, with TSLL has been interesting. We're starting to see it did break some pattern. It sold down to this level, and we're going to see definitely up into those levels, but we're looking for really getting back into $15 depending on how the robotaxi continues to grow. We also made a video on CTM earlier today. If you want to take a look at it, it's going to be prompted at the end of this video. If you guys want to join us in our daily live trading sessions and get the targets for the upcoming week, along with which companies are reporting earnings, the notable ones you want to watch for when they're reporting, and all of the price targets for them should be dropping on Sunday for the upcoming week. And I would love to see you there at Market Open on Monday. It's the second link in the description to join StockMate. And I see David's in it right now with some comments. Looking forward to seeing what those look like. Well, it's not just trading. We do long-term holds, as David's pointing out there. And we also got some really good research. Lawrence has been doing some really good research. He just also was awarded this really cool cup that we have for members that are top performers. They get this trading plan cup that has like risk management omens on it too, which is cool. So again, if you want to join us there and get all that stuff as a bonus and a free t-shirt, it's the second link below. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.